Hey friend, welcome to the Badass is the New Black podcast, where our motto is done is better than perfect. I'm Krissy Chin, here on a mission to help you grow your business online, turn your leads into lifelong customers, and scale to six figures and beyond so you can work less and enjoy and earn a whole lot more. Most importantly, I'm a laid-back wife, a mom, a friend who started as a peds nurse, turned network marketer, and now a serial entrepreneur. This podcast is for ambitious people with an idea, a vision, but no idea how to get there. On this podcast, I'll give actionable steps to keep you moving forward while you learn new business strategies, better systems and processes, marketing, sales, all the things you need to build and scale a blissful business that keeps your pocketbooks growing. Grab a beverage, open up your notes app, and let's get to it. Welcome back to the Badass is the New Black podcast. I'm your host, Krissy Chin. Today, we're going to talk about the importance of crafting a plan and why it doesn't really matter. And we'll also touch on how things can go so wrong and so right at the same time. I'm so glad you're here tuning in. Thank you for joining us. I've never said that before. That was kind of weird, but let's just keep on going. All right. So imagine this Wednesday night, the night before book launch. Everything is set up and ready to go. We've got a launch party happening, a virtual launch party, a Facebook group that's been created. People have been getting invited to. They're inside. I've got posts ready to go. Lots of giveaways. We're giving away over $5,000 in prizes. I've got posts ready on how to win. Grab the book, earn a point, invite a friend in, earn a point, post on your social that you bought the book, earn a point. All of these things crafted. I've got emails ready to go for 8 a.m. in the morning. The book is here. Go order yourself a copy. And full disclosure, I created 2 other emails. One that says we're so close to hitting number 1. Support and order yourself a copy. And then one that said, we've done it. We've hit number 1. Why did I write those? Because I believed that it could happen. I was manifesting that it could happen. So I prepped those emails. I didn't schedule them because I didn't know. So I was kind of holding them off to the side, but that was a way of me manifesting that to happen, that we become a number 1 Amazon best-selling book. And so I had those emails ready to go. Wednesday night happens. I do not have them scheduled because Amazon had not yet released my book. It was still in review mode. And I was told, we'll submit it on Monday, final book, 72 hours. I usually have it up and running. Okay, we're Wednesday. We're 72 hours in and nada. At night, I'm like, surely, maybe it could happen while I'm sleeping and I'll wake up to this nice surprise. Nothing. So I wake up, no book, still in review. And so in that moment, it's like, okay, this is supposed to be happening. We're supposed to be launching a book today. We're supposed to be doing a live virtual event all day and getting people excited about ordering. And there's no book to order. I have one of 2 options. And I'm curious as to which option you would choose. If you're watching on YouTube, you can drop this below. Is this the option in the time where you say, oh my gosh, it's not going as planned. I had planned all this stuff. I had planned my emails. I had planned my posts. And it's not happening. So I'm just going to go hide in the corner. I'm going to go up into my room. I'm going to crawl under the covers. I'm going to put them over my head and just be like, oh my gosh, it's not happening how I had planned. That's option 1. That is an option. Okay, it's an option. Option 2 is, okay, well, this is not going as planned. So I have to shift. I have to pivot. I have to do something. What am I going to do? Okay, we're just going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how the book's not here. We're still going to get people excited. I've got everyone in this Facebook group. I don't want the momentum to die. And so you do something. It doesn't matter what it is. You just do something. That is option 2. Which one do you think you would do in this time? Okay, if you're on YouTube, drop it in the comments below. Option 1, hide under the covers. Option 2, just do something. Well, I chose to do option 2. I chose to do something. I wasn't really sure what I was doing, But I, went to the place where I think best. I got showered and was doing my hair, and ideas always come to me in that moment. And I was like, I gotta be ready. Gotta be ready just in case that proposal happens, right? Just in case that book happens. And so I was getting ready and had this idea. You know what? We'll play some games. We'll play some games in the Facebook group. I'll post some business trivia. That could be fun, right? Let's get some people engaging in there. And it was a lot of fun. I didn't post too many business trivias. I think I posted 2 business trivias in there. And people were kind of loving it in terms of like seeing what they knew and testing. And then also I think there was one I posted where it was like 20 acronyms and how many do you know? And some people were commenting, oh my gosh, like clearly I need to learn, or clearly I need to read your book. So it was really fun to see that, kind of see where people were at and just get them interacting. And then I'm going to the team and I'm texting, okay, like I've done the business trivia, I've done this post, what else can I do? Like I said, I was going to post every 2 hours in there, excuse me, which didn't happen, by the way. I was like, ended up posting an hour late and then a half hour late just because I was like, shoot, I got to come up with stuff, right? And so texted in our leadership group, me and Claire, Nicole, and Carrie. And I was like, what can I do? What else? What are your ideas? What could I be posting? And Nicole's like, do a live reading. And so I was like, okay, this is happening. So 1 o'clock, I did a live reading, kind of just 2 hours before I think I posted that I was going to do it. And I read from the book. I read the important read first. It's right before the first chapter. And it starts with Dear Friend. And it's just a letter to the reader, and it was a little bit nerve-wracking. It's what I'm going to be reading at the live book signing here coming up. And I was nervous, but I read it, and people responded really well. I had someone commenting saying, oh my gosh, I'm in tears, I'm crying. Someone else just saying, wow, so powerful, so beautiful. And so there was good feedback on that. That was, I think, really special. Something that I had not planned, like, hello, it's a virtual book launch party. Why wouldn't you do a reading? But I hadn't thought of it. And so in this moment of needing to be, a little spontaneous, the creativity was flowing. And this is a moment where when things go wrong, but they go so right at the same time, where I had this plan and how it was going to be all set up. And I'm not typically a planner, but I know in business, it's important to plan so that you aren't spending all of your time creating in that moment, right? Like I created the posts before, I created the emails before and had them ready to go for when they were appropriate to use so that I could just post them and I could be engaging and interacting or tending to my children after school and all that. And it was all kind of falling to the wayside. And so I was just constantly creating some reels, keeping people up to date, how it was going. And it really worked in my favor. And oftentimes that happens where we plan something and it works out better in our favor. In college, I used to craft the perfect school schedule where I could sleep in on this day and have Fridays off. And then I would go to book my classes, and the classes I wanted would be full because, of course, everyone wanted that perfect schedule. And I'd be like, great, I'm at 8 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, no classes, Wednesdays, Mondays. And I was like, this stinks. And then it would always happen that it would work out. I remember I got a nanny job and they were like, oh, we need someone Monday and Wednesdays. And I was like, well, that worked out perfect. And so things just always they feel like they're going wrong, but then they end up going so right at the same time. And so during this book launch, the things that were going so wrong was I had no book to sell on launch day. And when you're self-publishing, pre-orders is not a thing. So you basically, it's just when the book is live, you can start selling, and you want to sell as many as you can in that first moments to jump up to that bestseller list and then try and hold that bestseller as long as possible, which this is about a week. This is Thursday I'm recording. Tomorrow will be a week. I'm still holding bestseller, which is really, really exciting. So I appreciate y'all who are going and ordering your copy. But this was just a moment where it was, heading to thinking it was going so wrong, but it ended up going so right. and people were getting behind me. More and more people were cheering me on and waiting in anticipation and coming back to my social media to be checking in. Like, oh, did she post yet? Did it come? Did it happen? Did Amazon, approve her book? Is it here? Is it ready? And I had a friend that said, I'm stalking your page. I keep going back. And so people were just the momentum was building even bigger. People were getting excited and they were really rallying behind me in hoping that this book would come out. And so it went better than I could have planned. I couldn't have planned it any better. In last night's book club, the first session, if you're listening to this in real time, there's another book club session happening tonight, which you are welcome to come to. I'll drop the link in the comments. We're only a few chapters in, so no worries. But she said, I don't think you could have planned it any better. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. I couldn't have. So that's where it's like, there's an importance in crafting a plan. But oftentimes when we do, things don't go as planned. And so why I say it's important to craft a plan and why it doesn't really matter, because your plans don't always happen as you anticipate them happening. So why is it important? Because it does allow you to work more efficiently, to plan ahead, to craft those emails, to have them ready to go, to figure out what you're doing. But be flexible to adjust, to shift, and to not be someone that goes and hides under the covers when things aren't going well. And to be able to just kind of pivot and shift in those moments. And if that's not your personality type, I think that's a strong suit that I have, is that I am sort of laid back and go with the flow, whether that's a protective thing that I've done throughout the years or whatnot. It's just a bit more natural for me. So if that's not you, then it's going to take a little bit extra effort to get into that. And remember that when your plan is going wrong or not going right, you can remember, oof, I remember Krissy saying how things can go so wrong and so right at the same time. I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust that this is how it's supposed to happen and everything's going to work out to my benefit. Right? You can say that affirmation. I trust that this is going to happen and everything will work out in my benefit. So, just something to be thinking about. I'm sure you can think of a time in your life where something didn't go as planned. And you needed to shift and you needed to refocus. And it's something else that I talk about in chapter 1, which we covered in book club last night. So if I pull out my book here, chapter 1, part 1, so it's divided into 3 parts, and then creating and selling your offer. Chapter number 1 is defining your dream life. And in part of this chapter, I talk about one of my mindset coaches who, shared about creating this blueprint for your life, like your dreams, and getting really detailed on what you want to do, but having the flexibility to be okay if it doesn't happen exactly how it's supposed to happen. Because if you are very just concrete in what you want and what you pictured and it's not happening, you're going to have to read the book for some examples and stories I share to give you a real idea on what I'm talking about. But having the freedom and flexibility to say, like, okay, that wasn't exactly how I pictured it happening, but I can still see the greatness here. And I also blend in another mindset coach in this practice of appreciating and having gratitude for how things happen. And so it was fun to talk about that on book club last night with this group of women that are meeting together, reading the book, and then coming to discuss some of the topics. So again, tonight is the second session at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you would like to come, you can jump in there. The Kindle version of the book is available. So if you want to grab the book on Kindle and get reading right away, or order the book and I'll send out some bonuses, you can catch up through chapter 2 in some of those bonuses I'll send to you. I'll put all of those links below this video or in the show notes. But the message today, I just want you to let ring in between your ears and not go in one and out the other, is that it's important to craft a plan, but it's also important to be able to shift and adapt. And as an entrepreneur, that's going to happen plenty of times. and how when you think something is going so wrong, it is actually going so right. And you may not be able to see why it's going so right in that moment, but have trust that it is happening the way that it should happen. All right, that's it, my friends. Thank you for tuning in and joining us. If you have not grabbed your copy of Sell While You Sleep yet, it is available on Amazon. You can just look up Sell While You Sleep and type in my name, Krissy Chin, and it will pop up, or you can use the links below the video or in the show notes. Until next week, go take imperfect action, my friend, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much for tuning in. If you got some value out of this episode, I would love some support. And the best way to do that, so I can keep showering you with loads of actionable tips, is to hit that subscribe button. Leave a review or a comment if you're on YouTube, and share this podcast with a friend. And when you share it with a friend on social, please tag me so I can reshare your share in my stories. It's been an absolute pleasure hanging out. I appreciate the heck out of you for showing up. And now it's time for you to take imperfect action so you can work less and enjoy and earn a whole lot more.